Hi, this is Robert Zigman and welcome to Geekspeek. About 3 years ago I purchased a 13-inch MacBook Pro and I happened to spill milk on it. Now, other than a few issues with the trackpad, it was perfectly fine. Up until a couple weeks ago when I tried to turn it on and nothing happened at all. No sound, no chime, nothing. So I took it to the Genius Bar the other day, and they told me that the milk spill had finally caught up with me, and that most of the boards were probably corroded, and that the price that it would cost for them to fix the thing, I might as well buy a new computer. So before I sell it to Gazelle for a $105 Amazon gift card, I decided to see if I could fix it myself. So what I did last night was I used my iFixit Essential Electronics Toolkit, my iSesamo opening tool, and my Silver Hill Tools magnetic project mat, which holds all different types of little screws and bits that would fall on the floor. And I took apart the entire MacBook Pro, and any part that looked like it had corrosion on it, I used an alcohol swab on. Isopropyl alcohol, or rubbing alcohol, fights corrosion, and I had to let it sit overnight in front of a fan, all of these parts. And I'm going to put it back together today and see what happens. Okay, so I got everything back together, and I learned from iFixit.com that I can determine whether the logic board or the keyboard is damaged, and if it's the logic board, I might as well buy a new laptop because it's so expensive to buy one, between $600 and $800, but the keyboard is $30, so if that's broken, that's an easy fix with about an hour's time. To determine that, there are two power pads on the logic board that vary in location on different MacBooks, and if you short them together either with a pair of tweezers or with a flathead screwdriver, you can determine whether or not the keyboard is functional. I connect my anti-static wrist strap to the MacBook Pro over here so that I'm the same voltage as the MacBook Pro so I don't damage the internals. So when I apply the tweezers to both of these, we should hear a startup sound and the fan should come on. Seems to be booting up, which is a good sign, which means the keyboard is damaged, so that means it's a $30 repair, which is a lot easier than replacing an entire logic board. So that means that when, after this boots up, the screen won't be on right now because it hasn't been booted up in a while. But when the actual computer is done booting up, I'll flip it around and we can see how it works. Alright, so I got the bottom cover back on, and if I flip it around here and open it, you can see that the screen's fine, but the keyboard is mostly busted. Okay, so I ordered the keyboard off of eBay for $31, and it just came in today, and we're going to see if I can actually replace this and get it to work on the MacBook Pro. So notice that the knife I have says bomb diffuser. You can pick one of these up at makershed.com. And then, once we actually get this all of the way open, we should be able to see bubble wrap, receipt, and another package. And another package with more bubble wrap. And here's the keyboard. So the next step here is I have to disassemble this again entirely, and an extra 50 screws, which you can see line up all here. And then I'll go to put the keyboard in and we'll see what happens. So I got everything out, and this is all that's left. Right here is the keyboard, and this little piece of paper here is the backlight that provides light to the keyboard. So what I'm doing right now is removing about 50 different small screws around the edge here And after I do that, I'll put the new keyboard in, put everything back together. Okay, so several hours later and many tiny screws later, I got the whole keyboard out, which is in pieces over here. And now it's time to put the new keyboard in and put everything back together. And alright, so I put all the parts back together, and if I did everything correctly, when I push this power button, it should start up. So well, it works. So all I had to do was replace the keyboard, and it ended up being a $30 fix instead of an $800 fix. So I'll include the links in the description for the tools that I used so that you can do your own repairs. This is Robert Zigman from Geekspeek. Thanks for watching.